So exciting developments have happened. Last week, I talked about my struggles with the fact that Kristen was dating my other partner, Red, and the fact that Kristen was not dating me. There's very understandable reasons why. Kristen is non-binary but AFAB and had basically been a lesbian the whole life and hadn't dealt with anyone AMAB. So, my penis was the first penis that they had encountered. I absolutely understand that this is a big step. So it all made perfect sense. But Kristen came over on Monday, actually was coming over to see Red. I had potential other plans, but then the plans got sort of shifted a bit. I ended up sort of hanging out a little bit. And Kristen was like, oh, yeah, it's totally fine if you're there. So we all hung out a bit. And then right at the very end, Kristen was like, so that conversation about a triad, would we like to be in one? And I was like, oh, hell yes. And so we have all agreed that we are in a triad, and that is very lovely. So it's all official, and I'm very happy. I feel like very over the moon here. I think it's funny because the status of partner doesn't really change much in a lot of ways. I mean, there's not really any difference in my interactions. It's really just a label. Kristen is certainly someone that I was going on dates with. Kristen is someone I was having sex with. I was having threesomes with, having group sex with. All the great things were happening before. I assume all those things will continue now, but I also really like relationships. I think I just really enjoy being in relationships, and I do like having some status with people. Not with everyone, of course, but with people that I'm really connected to. It just feels really nice to have this connection. Saw Kristen again on Tuesday, and I was just, chatting to them about how, that made me feel, because I was also not expecting it at all. And they said they were so happy. They were skipping when they were like leaving my house, and they were skipping down the street. They were so happy, and I was like, oh, that is fantastic, because I was extremely happy too. So that's quite a lovely conclusion to my saga of kind of feeling a bit weirded out by the fact that Kristen didn't want to be with me. Not in any ways bad, but just, I was I was really hoping for that. The other thing is that I have settled back into my number of partners being 5. 5 partners for me is about the right number. And it's been the right number for quite a number of years now. I seem to be steady at 5, and what happens is sometimes if there's 6, it just feels too many, and if there's 4, it just feels like someone's missing, and then it seems to reach some equilibrium again at 5. And so I'd had 5 at the beginning of this year, and then it had 2 breakups that were happening simultaneously, and that was really tough. I mean, I feel like the multiple breakups is one of the hardest things about polyamory, down to 3 partners. And then I sort of was like, all right, well, I've got some space, and I'd gone dating and met some really fun casual people, fun friends with benefits. That was lovely. And then I'd added a new partner who was one of my friends with benefits for a long time, and basically decided that it'd be good to be in a triad. So I was in a triad with Red and Philemon, and Philemon's in Montreal. And now Red and Kristen and I are in a triad. So I'm in 2 triads, which is quite lovely. I was trying to describe the shape, and I think it's sort of some kind of like tetragon, because there's a Red and I are kind of like as partners in between. So there's Red and I and Philemon is one triangle, and there's Red and I and Kristen is another triangle, but we're the join, so it's a 4-sided shape. These descriptions can be quite amusing, because there's combinations I never even imagined would even be possible when I was younger. So that is another joy of polyamory, is kind of like finding your natural number, finding the shapes of relationships. I just really value having close connections with people, even if we don't date anymore. I'm so happy to be in their lives, and I really enjoy that. I find that sometimes dating is a real shortcut to intimacy, because I think when it's someone that you've been very close with in a romantic sense, it's quite easy to be very close with in a friendship sense, especially if they're not the kind of person to burn down the village when they leave. And the people I used to date were very much burn down the village type of people, but now it's just really lovely, nice people, and we have very amicable discussions about whether we're together or not, and it seems very chill. And if we are, that's great, and if we aren't, it can also be great. It can be really, really nice to have these good connections. Okay, so that is my Diaries for this week.